Hello guys, this is Dr. Possibility from Excel Academy. Kindly make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure that you register with Excel Academy. In this tutorial, I'm just going to do my part 3 of anatomy MCQ revision. So make sure that you watch part 1 to part 2. Let's quickly look at some few questions. So the first question is regarding the cell theory, which of the following statement is correct? So if you look at the options which have been given there, the first one is all life is made up of cells. Cells are the structure unit of life. Cells come from pre-existing cells. So if you look at pre-existing cells, you can talk about the stem cells. So you find that most of the cells, they come from pre-existing cells. You can talk about the stem cells, which give rise to almost every type of cell. And then cells are the structure unit of life, so you need to understand that cells are the basic unit of all living things. So the answer here is just simply D. The fluid mosaic model described the plasma membrane as consisting of, so A, 2 layers of phospholipid with protein sandwiched between them. B, a protein bilated with embedded phospholipid. C, a phospholipid single layer with embedded proteins. D, a phospholipid bilayer with embedded proteins. So if you look at the plasma membrane, you need to understand that the plasma membrane, it consists of a bilayer of phospholipid, and then there are some embedded proteins which act as a transporting channel and many other functions. So the correct answer here is just D. Which of the following statement about the cell is correct? So the first option is a human cell has all its organelle membrane bound, and then B, peripheral protein attached to the inner surface of the membrane. C, polar heads of the phospholipid regulate membrane fluidity. D, glycolysis are oligosaccharide chains attached to protein. So the answer here is just simply D. To which of the following type of cytoskeleton do keratins belong? So to which of the following types of cytoskeletons do keratins belong? So the answer for this question is just the intermediate filaments. Let's quickly move on. To which of the following type of cytoskeleton do keratin belong? So this is just a sum question. So the answer is C. The following are the results of fertilization in human being except dash. So if you look at fertilization, we are simply talking about the fusion of the oocyte pronuclear and the fusion of the sperm. So if you look at the options here, we have chromosome sex determination of the embryo, which is correct, and then completion of second meiotic division, which is also correct, and then formation of 2 mature oocyte, and then formation of male and female pronuclei. So on my side, I would go with C, because of the reason that after fertilization, it is one oocyte which is produced, and also the secondary polar bodies. It's not the oocyte, but it's just one oocyte which is produced. Regarding fertilization in human being, which statement is true? Regarding fertilization in human being, which statement is true? Only the head of the sperm enters the oocyte. That's the first one. And then we have usually one sperm fertilizes one oocyte, which is just correct. So you need to understand that when a sperm fertilizes the oocyte, this oocyte will undergo the cortical reaction and the zonal reaction. So the cortical reaction and the zonal reaction will make sure that no other sperm can fertilize the oocyte. And then when you talk of twinning, we have 2 major types of twinning. We have dizygous and also the monozygous. So if you look at the monozygous, we have different types of them. We have the MM, we have the MD, the Siamese twins, and many other stuffs, which I have already explained in one of the videos. Which of the following epithelial withstands great degree of stretch? So it's just the what? Just the stratified squamous epithelium. So if you look at the stratified squamous epithelium, you can find it on the skin, and you can also find it in the esophagus and also on the vagina. Let's quickly move on. Which of the following glial cells help to form cerebrospinal fluid? So we are looking for the cells which help in the formation of the cerebrospinal fluid. So if you look at one of the videos, I talked about the condition called the hydrocephalus, where there is a accumulation of cerebrospinal fluid in the head, and it will lead to the enlargement of the head. But we are not interested in that. So if you look at the cells, we have the astrocyte, we have the epidermal cells, we have the microglia cells, which are playing in terms of the immune system, and also we have the oligodendrocytes. So the answer for this question is just simply B. Okay, so guys, please make sure that if you have any questions, you can WhatsApp me. And in case you want to register with Excel Academy, you can simply contact me on the lines in the descriptions and also the lines that will be given. What is a ganglion? So if you look at the ganglion, we have the trigeminal ganglion, which can also be the sensory ganglion, and many other types of ganglion. So if you look at the ganglion, an example I've given is the sensory ganglion or the trigeminal ganglion. So if you look at the ganglion is just a group of what? Neural bodies, a group of neural bodies. So in this case, the answer is just the cluster of neurosoma in the peripheral nervous system. Which of the following cells form? So there is myelin sheath. So you need to understand that when you look at the myelin sheath, it's just playing a role in the acceleration or the increase in the transportation of the impulse along the axon of the neuron. So when you talk of the central nervous system, the one which is myelated is just the oligodendrocyte. So the other one which is myelated, it is the what? Schwann cells. So these cells, they are found in the peripheral nervous system, but the oligodendrocyte are the ones which are myelated in the what? In the CNS. Okay, let's move on. During the cell cycle, nucleus division. So nucleus division, when you talk of nucleus division, we're just simply talking about the chiokinesis. Occurs during which phase? So we have G1. G1 is the growth phase. G2 is also a growth phase, but sometimes chiokinesis can take place. And then we have M phase. So this is the correct answer. When you talk of S phase, this is where replication is mostly occurring. Which of these processes does not occur during meiosis? So we have one, crossing over, which takes place at prophase 1, and then we have pairing of chromatids to form the tetroid, and then we have desynapsis. So this one, that one are happening at meiosis 1 of prophase. And then if you look at the only one which doesn't take place, it is what? It is the interphase. Okay. After DNA duplicate, two genetically identical strands of chromosome held together at the centromere are called. So the answer is just the what? The sister chromatide. So they are just the sister chromatide. Okay. Most dash vertebrae have a spinous process that is bifid. So you need to understand that things like spinal bifida, it can take place on cervical, thorax, lumbar, and sacral, but the most common part is on the what? On the cervical. Which of the following bone from the exoskeleton articulate with the clavicle? Which of the following bone of the exoskeleton articulate with the what? With the clavicle. So it's just the manubrium. Okay. The protective outer layer of the epidermis, is formed by, the answer is just the stratum corneum. Okay. Where are the rapid division cells found in the nail? Dividing cells found in the nail? So we have the hyponychium, nail bed, nail matrix, D. epinaceum. So the answer for that question is just in the nail bed. That's where most of these cells are found. Which of the following modified sweaty glands secrete wax in your ears? So in your ears, there are some modified sweaty glands which normally secrete wax. And if you look at wax, if you just try to check up your ears, you see some wax in them. So that wax, it is produced some modified sweat gland, and these modified sweat gland are just known as the what? As the seleminous glands. So the seleminous glands are the glands that are found in the ears, and they are modified sweaty gland. Dash is found in the dermopapilla. So it's this, the answer here we have is the mesinus corpuscle. So the mesinus corpuscle, it is playing a role in the response to soft touch. So it gives a response to the what? To the soft touch. Okay. The spinal cord continues inferiorly as so we have the cauda equina, we have the filum terminale, dentates, ligaments, and also conus medullaris. So the answer here is just the conus medullaris, so which is just within the stomach lining, which cells secrete gastrin? So these are just the G cells. The longitudinal muscle layers of the large intestine forms three distinct muscles band called what? So we have the precursor, we have the tenia coli, we have the haustra, we have the epiplotic appendage. So the answer is just the what? The tenia coli, which is just made up of a dense of longitudinal muscles. And then you need to understand that this is one of the characteristics of the large intestines. You can talk about the colon. So you find that the tenia coli are one of the guys which are found in the large intestine. Within the liver, which cells synthesize bile? So within the liver, which cells synthesize bile? So the answer here is just the hepatocyte. So the hepatocytes are the ones which normally synthesize bile. The Kupffer's cells, they're just playing a role in the immune system. Okay. The arterial wall has a part that have ridges giving in a rough appearance called dash. So if you look at the surface of the right atrium, you need to understand that it has some rough appearance. So those rough appearance, they are just formed by the crista terminalis. The base of the heart is mainly formed by the base of the heart. So we need to understand that we have the base and also the apex. So when you talk of the base of the heart, which is found superiorly, so you need to understand that it's mostly made up of the left atrium. And then the apex, you need to expect the left ventricle. Parasympathetic supply of the heart is innervated by the, so the answer here is just the vagus nerve. Okay, let's move on and look at the next one. Regarding the brachiocephalic artery, Which one of the following statement is false? Which one of the following statement is false? So the first one is, it is a branch of the aorta. It bifurcates to give rise to right common carotid and right subclavian, and then it is present on both the right and left side of the body, and it is an elastic artery. So if you look at the answer here, the answer is just B. In fetal circulation, the ductus anteriosus is present between the, so in this case we have the pulmonary vein and aorta, which is wrong because of that, the pulmonary artery and the aorta. Then we have the pulmonary artery and the inferior vena cava, which is also wrong because of the inferior vena cava. Then the pulmonary artery and the iliac artery, which is also wrong. So the answer is just simply B. The heart is located in there, so we have the superior mediastinum, middle mediastinum, anterior mediastinum, and also the posterior mediastinum. But the heart is found in the pericardium, and if you look at the pericardium is normally found in the middle mediastinum. Inadequate secretion of antidiuretic hormone results in a condition known as, so when there is inadequate secretion of the antidiuretic hormone, this will result into a condition which is just diabetes mellitus type, diabetes mellitus type 2. Neurohypophysis is another name for of the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland. So the pituitary gland has the anterior and the posterior lobe. So the posterior lobe is the one which is known as the neurohypophysis. Yeah. What type of joint is between the parietal bones of the skull? So we are just talking about the suture between the parietal bone of the skull, and the answer here is just the syndesmosis. So when you talk about the syndesmosis, these are just the type of joint that allows only little movement, if not no movement. Alright, thank you very much guys for joining me. This was Dr. Possibility from Excel Academy. Kindly make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.